The Chicago Bears are no longer just a nice storyline that people smile at and move on from. This team has crossed into a different territory, one where national conversations are no longer about potential alone, but about belief. When a prominent national voice goes on television and confidently states that the pairing of this head coach and this quarterback is destined to win a Super Bowl someday, it shifts the way the league looks at Chicago. That kind of statement does not come out of nowhere. It comes from watching a team evolve, from seeing habits change, and from noticing that something real is being built inside this organization. For years, the Bears were viewed as a franchise stuck in a cycle. Coaching changes, quarterback resets, constant reboots with no continuity. A lot of the skepticism that followed Chicago was earned, and Bears fans know that better than anyone. The team's past decisions, the instability, and the inability to sustain success made it easy for outsiders to doubt anything new that emerged. But what we are seeing now feels different, not because everything is perfect, but because the direction finally makes sense. The offense has taken a massive leap forward. Even with missed throws, drops, and moments where execution still needs to be sharper, this unit has consistently performed at a high level. Statistically, it has hovered near the top of the league across most offensive categories. That is not accidental. It reflects structure, identity, and confidence. When an offense looks this organized in such a short time, it tells you the coaching is translating to the field. And when a young quarterback looks comfortable, decisive, and fearless in big moments, that belief only grows stronger. The defense, however, remains the biggest question mark. Not because there is no talent, but because circumstances never allowed this group to fully show what it could be. Injuries tore through the unit all season. Key leaders missed extended time. Starters rotated in and out of the lineup. Continuity was impossible. That matters, especially on defense, where communication and trust are everything. Even so, there were flashes, particularly late in games, where this defense showed it could tighten up and dictate terms instead of simply reacting. Chicago does not need a historically dominant defense to become a true contender. It does not need to be the best unit in football. If this defense can simply become solid, consistent, and reliable somewhere in the upper half of the league, the entire equation changes. A balanced team with an explosive offense and a defense that can force tough situations is a nightmare matchup in January. The coaching staff believes it can get there once the right pieces are fully in place and healthy at the same time. What makes this moment feel real is that the Bears are already here, even if the project is not finished. This team has won a playoff game. This team is playing with confidence. This team is no longer sneaking up on anyone. In the NFC, Chicago is a legitimate threat right now, not a rebuilding footnote. That does not mean the work is done. Becoming a favorite requires sustained growth year after year, and proving that success is not a one-season spike. Individual performances have reinforced that belief. Players on defense stepped up and carried heavy workloads all season, showing durability and leadership. The effort and production were there, even when the unit was shorthanded. On offense, young playmakers have developed quickly, giving this team multiple ways to attack defenses. The foundation feels strong, and that is not something Bears fans have been able to say with confidence in a long time. Now the stage gets even bigger. The Bears are set to host the Los Angeles Rams with a trip to the NFC Championship game on the line. This is not a sentimental matchup or a feel-good moment. This is a heavyweight fight. The Rams are one of the most complete teams in the conference, regardless of record. They are disciplined, well-coached, and dangerous if you give them openings. They're the kind of opponent that punishes mistakes and forces you to play clean football for 4 full quarters. There's a noticeable difference in tone surrounding this matchup compared to others. This one is built on mutual respect between coaching staffs rather than pure hostility. That respect does not make the challenge easier. If anything, it raises the level of preparation. Both sides understand exactly what the other is capable of, and that usually leads to a chess match rather than chaos. The Bears enter this game as the underdog, even at home, and that reality is understandable. The Rams have proven themselves on big stages. Their quarterback is experienced, tough, and unafraid of pressure, even while dealing with a lingering hand injury. That injury may not keep him off the field, but in cold outdoor conditions, it becomes something Chicago can try to exploit within the rules of the game. Football in January is not supposed to be comfortable, especially for a visiting team. Weather could play a major role. Cold temperatures and potential snowfall favor the home team, particularly against a quarterback who has historically struggled in harsh outdoor conditions. That does not guarantee anything, but it creates an edge if the Bears are disciplined and physical from the opening drive. Games like this often come down to who embraces discomfort first. Defensively, Chicago must be sharper than it was during the regular season. Giving up significant yardage is not a recipe for success against an offense designed to exploit space. The Rams will test every weakness, and the Bears cannot afford slow starts or passive schemes. At the same time, Los Angeles is not flawless on defense either, which opens the door for a high-impact, back-and-forth battle where execution in critical moments decides everything. This is the kind of game that defines trajectories. For years, Chicago watched other teams take these steps while it stayed behind. Now the Bears are standing in that moment themselves. Win, and the conversation changes again. Lose, and the lesson becomes fuel for what comes next. Either way, this is no longer about hope. It is about proving that this team belongs exactly where it is right now. What stands out most about this moment is how many people never expected Chicago to be here. Before the season started, very few outside the city believed this team could win 10 games, let alone find itself in a win or go-home situation deep in the playoffs. Even some fans admitted confidence came more from hope than certainty. And yet, week after week, the Bears found ways to survive, adjust, and respond when the pressure mounted. Some games were ugly. Some wins were stressful. But this team kept answering the bell, and that matters more than style points in January. The playoff win that brought Chicago to this stage said a lot about the character of the roster. Falling behind early, hearing the noise, and still finding a way to flip the script takes mental toughness. The second half of that game revealed a different version of the Bears, one that played faster, smarter, and more aggressive. Adjustments were made, communication improved, and suddenly the defense was no longer just absorbing pressure. It was dictating it. That kind of transformation inside a single game speaks volumes about coaching and buy-in. If the Bears can replicate that level of execution for a full 4 quarters, they can compete with anyone left standing. That does not mean it will be easy. Playoff football is violent, emotional, and unforgiving. Every mistake is magnified. Against the Rams, Chicago cannot afford to spot early leads or rely on late heroics. Starting fast matters. Finishing drives matters. Situational football matters more now than it ever has. The offense has to continue playing with confidence, but also with discipline. Big plays are there to be made, but patience is just as important. The Rams thrive when opponents get reckless. Sustained drives keep their pass rush honest and their offense on the sideline. When Chicago stays balanced and protects the football, it forces Los Angeles to play a style they do not always prefer. That is where opportunities start to appear. Defensively, the message is simple but demanding. Do not break early. Do not let the game get away before adjustments can settle in. The Rams are too experienced to be chased from behind comfortably. Pressure must be consistent, coverage must be connected, and tackling must be clean. Cold weather games punish lazy fundamentals. Missed tackles turn short gains into momentum changers. Discipline is not optional at this stage. There's also a psychological element to this matchup that cannot be ignored. Chicago has already climbed one mountain by getting past a longtime rival. That kind of win releases pressure, but can also create complacency if not handled correctly. The Rams are not walking into this game intimidated. They expect a fight. They expect resistance. The Bears have to match that mindset from the opening kickoff. What makes this stretch exciting for Chicago fans is that the future feels tied directly to the present. This is not a team borrowing confidence from what might happen years from now. This is a team earning respect in real time. Young players are growing in front of everyone. Leaders are emerging. The identity is forming on the field, not in press conferences. That is how sustainable success begins. Comparisons to past flashes of success are inevitable, but this situation carries a different weight. Previous versions of the Bears hinted at promise without ever establishing stability. This group feels more grounded. The structure is clearer. The vision is more defined. There's an understanding that progress does not stop with one good season or one playoff run. The standard is being raised, and expectations are starting to follow. As kickoff approaches, the atmosphere around this game feels heavy in the best way possible. Cold air, loud stands, and everything on the line. This is the environment football was built for. The Bears are no longer asking to be taken seriously. They're demanding it with their play. Whether this journey continues for another week or ends here, the message is clear. Chicago is back in the conversation, and this team is just getting started. There's also something powerful about how this team responds when things go wrong. Throughout the season, Chicago faced moments where momentum swung hard against them, and in the past those moments usually signaled collapse. This time, the response has been steadier. Players are not panicking. Adjustments are happening on the fly. That composure matters even more in the playoffs, where one mistake does not end the game, but how you respond to it often does. The matchup itself demands physical football. Los Angeles is built to test discipline with motion, timing, and precision. That forces defenders to trust their assignments and resist the urge to gamble. For Chicago, staying connected across all three levels of the defense is critical. Gaps cannot open late. Communication cannot slip when the noise rises. Every snap becomes a test of focus, especially if the game stays close deep into the fourth quarter. On the offensive side, confidence must be paired with awareness. Big moments will come, and the temptation to force plays will be there. The key is understanding that patience can be just as punishing as aggression. Long drives wear down a defense, especially in cold conditions, and they shift pressure to the opposing offense to answer. That is how games slowly tilt possession by possession, rather than flipping all at once. What continues to stand out is that this team is learning in real time under the brightest lights. Every playoff snap becomes experience that cannot be simulated. Win or lose, these moments shape what this group becomes next. And for now, the focus remains locked on the task directly ahead. One game, one opponent, one opportunity to keep this run alive and prove that this season is only the beginning of something much bigger in Chicago. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with speculation after shocking whispers emerged about Trevor Lawrence potentially joining the Chicago Bears. The young quarterback, who has dazzled fans and analysts alike with his precision, poise, and leadership, could be headed to a franchise desperate for a revival. Sources close to the situation suggest that discussions between Lawrence's camp and the Bears' front office are intensifying, sparking excitement and, naturally, skepticism across the league. Chicago, a city known for its passionate fan base and storied football history, has not seen a player of Lawrence's caliber in years. The mere thought of pairing his arm talent with the team's offensive weapons has supporters imagining what might finally be a return to contention. Locker room insiders hint that the Bears management is eager to shake up the franchise, making bold moves that could signal a new era. While no official confirmation has been made, social media has already exploded with memes, highlight reels, and fan reactions celebrating the potential arrival of a generational talent. Trevor Lawrence's journey to this point has been marked by both high expectations and the pressure of constant scrutiny. Analysts note his combination of athleticism, football IQ, and composure under pressure could fit perfectly into a Bears offense that has been searching for a true leader. Team executives are reportedly exploring a range of options, from trades to contract restructuring, to make room for what could be one of the most significant acquisitions in recent team history. Speculation aside, one thing is clear. The idea of Lawrence donning the navy and orange ignites hope. Long-suffering fans imagine the quarterback orchestrating electrifying drives at Soldier Field, transforming a franchise that has struggled for consistency into a legitimate contender. Whether this deal comes to fruition remains a mystery, but the rumor alone has reinvigorated the Bears community, reminding everyone why the NFL offseason is often as thrilling as the games themselves. As the story develops, all eyes will be on the Bears' headquarters and on Lawrence, whose next move could define not just a season, but the trajectory of an entire franchise. In a league built on speculation, trades, and surprises, this potential blockbuster addition is the kind of story that gets hearts racing and tongues wagging. For now, fans can only dream, and the possibility of Trevor Lawrence in Chicago feels like a dream worth chasing. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.